me jeje bala. Lo teson no trabajo. He topa again, lama la sorotos.
So in this way, one's mind without any doubt and with full devotion, then he carry through the supplication prayer to Guru.
Lama nembi yente mombo jedus.
So that it explains about the great qualities of the Guru.
Karesena lama de. Tepa mugije sawa sechita bala tene che tangji sawa nelu wasar zoba chemode rongi jela tini bag khargugeros.
So as with one single pointed devotion and supplication prayer that they carry to the Guru, through that one could have the actual realization of the absolute true nature of mind as the clear light according to the Dzogchen practice.
Lama le tepa mugi ni toba ni shuchembo de shem matuna zoba chime nelu tota meres.
So in case one could not develop the devotion and inclination towards the Lama and the Guru, then there is no any other way one can give rise to the realization of the Dzogchen true nature.
Xiangge, Iram Jisla, Kandong Kong, Tasum Kandong Kong don't know. Lama to Yerman Tipashi, Nyanso Languages.
So, in generally speaking, that whatever deities practice one carry, one do, including three root deities, that has to be understood or visualized inseparable with the one's root to master. So it is just because that through that technique, one could receive the blessing faster. So in case if we think everything is very individual, then it will be just individually separated, and then it is more difficult to get actualized with anything. So even that just considering to examine the Lama and Buddha Dharmas is that itself is a kind of doubt. It is of course that it is not rejected to examine, but still there is no much real benefit. So it is important in the very beginning when one enters into the door of the Dharma. So once one enters into the Dharma gate and already accepted one's root teacher, and then still having all this kind of examining, and then doubt is the wrong view. At that time, then one should not have any doubts. That one need to have that full devotion and inclination without any doubts. In general, of course, as a Lama, the Guru, there are also just many different levels. But anyhow, once you accept it as one's teacher, that Lama, then it is more important to just have the devotion and inclination and respect. So that in the beginning, first one just take somebody else, one's teacher, and then later on one started just kind of finding out the fault and then examining and then having all sorts of doubts and criticizing, insulting that oneself, creating one's own negative. So that is also one of the most greatest obscuration. So at that time, actually, that it is more important to have that devotion and inclination rather than that be doubt. So if one just train one's mind and then have one single pointed devotion or faith, of course one can receive all this blessing. So as you know, it has been explained that the old woman who just prayed to that dog's tooth and then through that receiving all the blessing and attain enlightenment. So those all happened because of her great devotion. It is not because of the blessing of the dog tooth. So once one take as one's teacher, guru, lama, then that always try to cultivate that devotion and not avoid the wrong views and consider as like a Buddha and have that devotion, one will definitely receive all those blessings. So, however, that Lama would teach the perfect Dharma. So, when there is the perfect Dharma teaching, of course, that is the path that one can liberate. So, in the very beginning, just to examine the teacher, that is important. So after just being taken as one's teacher and then having all this kind of doubts and just criticizing and so forth, it is like just creating a karma of abandoning the Dharma. So in generally that whatever sorts of karma one have, according to that one would really meet with such a teaching. But anyhow, that if one just supplicate to the Buddha and then try to follow the actual Dharma practice, then still it is good. In generally, we all ordinary worldly peoples, that it is mostly we could have wrong or impure perception. Other than that, we don't have anything good perception. Even that there would happen real Buddha, still we may have some kind of wrong view. It's difficult to have that true faith.
Dada libi karma ta ko no thonji ji sonje ki kan ze de senjen go ko ndu ji do shinju ka sheba ji de ma to ya de lo ne ki ta ti ta ni le xia shin du nyam du de sonje le ya de to mu.
So, for instance, like Shakyamuni Buddha's one of disciple known as Gelung Bhikshu or Lekpe Karma, that who has been serving Buddha for almost like 22 years, and then he could not just see any quality and always think that Buddha is just deceiving all other beings. So then he just finally said that you, Buddha, as just deceiving all these beings, and I cannot serve you anymore. And 22 years I have been just serving you, but I didn't see any single quality. Now I'm just more wiser than you. And then he left Buddha. So since he, after 22 years, then not serving the Buddha as he left, then there is the Kungao, the Ananta, become as a Buddha's main attendant.
Then Kungao level Kamata Kare and over the Tako Kabo Denji Hindogre, the Kata Kamne. The children never go Hindogre, then they get out of cigarettes and so on. And then Ananda asked to Buddha, now what will happen to this bhikshu Legbe Karma? And then Buddha said, well, now he will just die within a week time, that his mouth get dry up and never really just get anything to drink, and then he will be reborn in Holy Ghost beings. So then that Kungao, as the Ananta, as he heard from Buddha, he just as their Sangha friend, and he went to Legbe Karma and expressed to him, oh, now you just better confess to Buddha and be just follow the path. You may have just problem. Tarek about doing it, chip down and missing. Not an arching matter, make it Chembagin, Hakum and do their own call it Mogoshi, they use on the kitchen, said or chip matters about doing do this. So then the Legbe Karma, he said, well, sometimes what he says truth, but not necessarily always. Anyhow, that I will not I will not die just because of not having anything to eat or drink for a week. Anyhow, I'm not going to drink at all. And then see, when I will not die, then whatever he said will be just a lie. So anyhow, then he didn't drink for a week, and then on the seventh day, then he felt just a kind of terribly thirsty. And then finally he drank a little bit water. And that became a condition that he just died. And then Ananda asked to Buddha that now where he is born, and then Buddha said, well, he is in a flower garden, just born in form of a Holy Ghost being, and then after that, when he dies, then again he will go to three lower realms. And then Ananda requested to Shakyamuni Buddha that will you please help him to liberate. Then
And then in that garden, there is just a tree that somehow his mind is kind of reborn somewhere there. And then to liberate him, Buddha went there, and then Buddha gave the refuge, and then also taught many teachings based on cause and effect of karma. But then because of his wrong view, still he cannot really just listen to it. So then he said that, oh, when I was in a human realm, that you have been just deceiving me, and now just after this next life, after the death, even still you want to just deceive me. So he really didn't want to listen to Dharma teaching and could not do anything, and then he reborn in three lower realms. So that is how that a very ordinary mind and impure mind will always perceive something impure. It is so difficult. So that is why it explains, try to just have that pure perception. So in this way, we have been just going through this practice and also now for many years becoming very familiar to each other, going through all these teachings. The most profound teaching based on the Dzogchen, the great perfection, that as the top of the banner, there is no any other higher or more profound teaching than this. So in this way, just try to understand all this Dharma teaching and try to carry through practice and hear it properly, so that we could have liberation and may not wander into the three lower realms anymore. So this whole complete cycle of teaching is that the great compassion at Avalokiteshvara directly transmitted to Menjur Dorje. So the lineage is also not very long. So Tugu Menjur Dorje, the treasurer revealer, is actually that accomplished with the Avalokiteshvara deity practice and before just Shakyamuni Buddha came on this earth. And many countless beings were already got liberated by Tugu Menjur Dorje. And during the Shakyamuni Buddha's time, then he was born as Ananda. And during the Guru Padma Sambhava's time, then he was born as the great translator Berutana, and then a great master, the Shubupel Gesenge. So in between also just one has taken many emanations and then benefiting all those sentient beings.
Nyaran on the Shannon, and Rory Tunisian, teacher, Sanya Lasso and Penny Saint Thomas, but no years.
And also just went to, in general, being to all the 6 realms, and then specifically even like a hot hell realm, and then just liberate them from that suffering.
Nyavan Shandu in the castle, chase on the Nyaran controls and the calling of shaking the soonest.
So when that born emanate in the hell realm to benefit all those hell beings, and then express to just to subdue the angers. And even the hell beings, they were somehow like angry to Gumanju Torche that we are suffering here and still you are just kind of teasing us. And in that way, with many different methods, but still many beings were also could not really liberate.
They can't get money from to the Jimbo money, young citizen. Then it's here's a devil, didn't Eric men on the devil, they made on the nothing, it's looking soon.
And then he just started chanting the Om Mani Padme Hum, that Avalokiteshvara's mantra with a very beautiful tune, and then just blow in a whole bunch of sand, and then threw into the hot hell realm, and then all the fires also got extinguished. And then he expressed that at that time he could liberate lots of beings from there. So in that way, that this transmission, the whole complete teaching that from great compassionate Avalokiteshvara directly transmitted to Gumanju Torche until now, which is a very close the lineage.
Tata Lama sort of say, Topper here in the Juris, Rangita Lama Imbala, Sonjikundi Doni, Topper here gives.
So then, just as we have been going through that prayer, supplication prayer to the Guru, that the essential nature is one's root teacher, but appears in form of Guru Pamasambhava, who is the condensed nature of all the past, present, future Buddhas. So even during the receiving empowerment, that where we express that above one's head there is the just a Guru who is the condensed nature of all the Buddhas. And that is the how we carry through supplication prayer. So anyhow, all these prayers that maybe that because of the language, maybe sometimes not understand, but every single word has a great meaning. So in that way, then that accept the Tolung students, and then the texture, those who are receiving Shine, you guys stay here, and the rest you all can leave and carry through your practice.